Texting the wrong girl, I love you. Yeah, I did that and it was not pretty. So, I'm going to tell you guys a little tale of what happens when you're juggling women, which is not the type of person that I am, but it just so happened that I was talking to two females at one time and it came to a horrible, horrible point in time. So, before I provide some context, real quick, I just want to say shout out to everybody who's fucking with the channel. I appreciate you guys, even if it's just one person every 2 months. I don't care. Like, I just like telling my stories, and hopefully, people can learn from them. So, anyways, back into the story. So, at this point, I was in seventh grade. I was in middle school, okay? And remember, I came to this middle school and I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. I didn't go to the elementary schools that everybody else went to, that, like, the next track is this middle school. Like, I didn't do that. I moved in the sixth grade, so I didn't have no connections with nobody, really. So, even at that, even at that, at this point in time in seventh grade, not only did I have a girlfriend, I mean, she was a year younger than me, but I mean, she's like a supermodel esque girl that, like, I could only imagine what she looks like now if what she looked like back in the day. Like, she was beautiful. And, you know, me and her were going out, and this was back in the day where you could meet someone on the internet and it wasn't like super sketch or anything like that, because I ended up meeting a girl from another school, and me and this girl ended up getting like pretty tight. And, you know, like, we were just friends like that. And even though I was in seventh grade, I had already, like, she approached me at the mall and started holding my hand, and I was trying to tell her, like, yo, I have a girlfriend. And then she said, what, your girlfriend doesn't let you hold hands? And I was just like, whatever. So this girl, she had some shit plotted in her mind, like, beforehand. I don't know what it was. Like, I wasn't an attractive person. I looked like fucking Harry Potter. Like, it made no sense that girls would even want to talk to me, honestly. So, like, that happens, and the relationship that I was in ends up, like, fizzling out. But, like, any ex that I've had, like, it's never ended on, like, horrible terms. Like, we've always remained friends, like, somehow. So, yeah, I don't have that, like, thing of, like, oh, my ex, blah 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 blah. Like, we were always cool. Like, I don't know, it just wasn't like no animosity or whatever. So that happens, you know. I stopped going out with this Latina girl. I have a weakness for Latinas, man. I really don't like white blonde girls or whatever. It really depends on the personality. But as far as physical attraction, I'm all about, like, the, like, Latinas and the dark hair and everything. Like, you know, I grew up basically Hispanic. Like, even though, you know, you can look at me and be like, what? But, like, you'll see soon enough, when I tell my story on the podcast, that if you watch the podcast. So, anyways, I'm talking to this girl that's going to another school, okay? She goes to another middle school. Now, while I'm talking to her, I'm also talking to a girl that goes to my school, and she's a year older than me. And the girl from the other school was also older than me. So, like, I don't know how I used to have so much game. Like literally, if you looked at my track record of like girlfriends that I've had, like you wouldn't believe me. You would think I'm lying, honestly, because like once again, like I'm not some Rico Suave fucking like and I've accepted that. It is what it is. But like at this point in time, I don't know what it was. And another girl got introduced into the mix afterwards that like I'll try to see if I can fit that in. But basically, I was in the middle of like texting them. I had a Samsung flip phone. It's over here on my desk somewhere, but I don't feel like getting up and getting it. But I remember this someone texting me like I was in the middle of texting these two different girls, different schools, different ages, whatever, you know. I mean, as a 7th grader pulling an 8th grader like out of not knowing anybody, like I'm not saying I deserve fucking like props or a pat on the back, but like, you know, I don't even know how that I made that happen. We didn't have no classes together or anything like that. Like it was literally just like off some attraction shit. So, and I've seen her like afterwards, like not in person, but I've seen her on online, and she's like happy and stuff, and I'm happy for her. So she texts me, and she texts me back, and she says, "I love you, Patrick Wade Stork." And yes, unfortunately, my middle name is Wade, which I really didn't mind because I always associated with Dwayne Wade, but now I have the great pleasure of thinking about Wade fucking bitch boy Wilson to like take up that name. So it is what it is. I used to have a homie that he would turn the W upside down and he would call me PMS. Super super complex jokes right there, you know what I'm saying? Super. Like call kill Tony. I mean, he would be fucking slapping his knee at that one. I mean, I can't imagine why not. So, when this girl texts me, "I love you, Patrick Wade Stork." She uses my first, middle name, and last name. Like, that's how close we were, or whatever. So, me being the type of person I was, where, I fucking smoked weed before I smoked weed before I smoked weed before I took Xanax, before I took Percocet. Like, it was just, I was never in the right state of mind. Never. Like, I shouldn't have even been, like, I wasn't trying to juggle them because I had a lot of weird, I was friends with benefits with one of the other girls, which I don't know if that's still a thing or not or whatever. It's 2024. But like that's what it was. Like she was the one that fucking suggested it. I wasn't the one saying anything about it. And her excuse was always, I'm older than you. I'm older than you. I can't be with you cuz I'm older than you." She was older than me by like a month. So, whatever, you know. So, when I get that text message, I assume that it's coming from the other girl, even though all I had to do was see message from blank, and then like I would have known. But my dumbass didn't take the point 0.5 seconds to do that. So, in turn, I wrote back, "I love you too, blank, blank, blank." Completely wrong first, middle, and last name. Completely wrong. Like, not even fucking close that it could be mistaken as like a typo or something like that. Like, it was very obvious that I was talking about another female. So, that definitely screwed up my what I had going on, you know. And what's crazy is my best friend at the time, he started getting at her, and then him and her started having some little thing going on, which, like, hey, it is what it is. I fucked up. I can't be too mad about it. But, like, I just thought it was interesting that, like, he was always very, he wanted to be involved, and I never understood it, and now I understand why. So, like, that kind of like fizzled out, which was awkward because like we went to the same school. Like, I'd have to see this girl every fucking day, you know? So, it definitely was awkward, but it kind of like came to a halt, whatever. And I started messing with the girl from the other school. And once again, this girl, she was very pretty, very, very pretty. Like, and like I wanted to be with her. Like, she was the one out of if I had to pick out of the two, I would have picked this one. And thank God for fate, because if I had a went with that, I can only imagine how much turmoil my life would be in. No offense to her, but it was just there was just a lot of bullshit that went on. So, it all boils down to now I'm talking to her, I'm still talking to the other girl, and I'm also talking to a girl that goes to my school who's in my grade, who I ended up getting kicked out of, expelled from school with, for, you know why. If you don't know why, look through my channel and you will see why. I made a video about it. So, it was weird because I can still remember this. I was at the Armstrong Theater going to see like somebody do something. Like that's a place where they would do like any type of dances, or like any type of, like, I think it was like a hula dance, or it's the type of place where people go and bring their little kids and they try to dance to like little like music, and they like fall all over each other and stuff. It was a place like that, but it was for like a dance class or some shit. So, like, I went, and oddly enough, I went there to back up and to have to like be a friendly face in the crowd for the girl that I said I love you to, and used the complete wrong first, middle, and last name. So, definitely awkward, but I was on my cell phone, and I was on my cell phone, and like for the longest time, I wanted to get with this girl. Like, I would have gave an arm and a leg to get with this girl. So, like, after, I mean, like, we were hooking up all the time, whatever. Like we were like, that was cool, but like I kind of wanted her to be like a girlfriend type, like relationship type shit, you know. And she wasn't having it. Like, oh, I'm older than you. That was her main excuse, which was some bullshit. So, finally, like, I'm just like, all right, whatever. And I end up talking to a girl. Like, we had a couple classes together at my middle school, and it was honestly the most mature relationship that I've ever been in. Like, for sure. Like, even though we were so young and everything, like, we are like, I would skip parties, I would skip all types of shit, I would skip sales, all types of shit, just so I could eat dinner with her family and watch a movie. And I had no problem doing that. But people, like, on the week or on the weekdays would be like, "Where were you? Where were you, dog? You could have made so much money." Blah 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 blah. And like, yeah, I could have, but like I actually enjoyed like spending time. Like, she had like a little family, she had a little brother, a little sister, another little sister, that were all like under the age of like maybe like 5 or 6. So like, I just had a fun time having like a normal family, honestly. And I wouldn't have traded that. If I could go back, I would do the exact same thing. So, like, it came to a head where I'm at that Armstrong Theater place, and all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but a flip got switched in the girl that always was like turning me down. And she's literally, I'm on the phone with her, and she's telling me, "Ask me out. Ask me to be your girlfriend. Ask me to be your girlfriend." And as much as I wanted that, I didn't want it like that. Like, didn't want it like that. So like it was weird. Like I was like, I actually can remember being like, no, like no, like this is weird. Like why are you trying to like force some shit on me? Like you already know how I've been feeling for the past however long. Like, you know. And she's like, ask me out, ask me out, ask me out, ask me out. And like it was just so unattractive. Like I don't know what other word to like say. So I told her, I'm like, hey, you know what? Like I'm talking to this other girl. Like you were the one saying that I was too short and this and that and whatever, and like you were the one that said all that shit. So like I pursued other avenues, and I remember her saying like talking to me, and she's talking to me, and my phone gets like a, and I look and I can see that I have a call waiting, and when I see that I have a call waiting, it's the other girl that I'm talking to at the time, and she doesn't know really much of anything of this other girl, you know, like she went to a different school and whatever, like there was no reason for her to know, you know. So I'm on the phone and I tell her, I said, this other girl is on the other line right now. Like she's calling me right now. And she says, all right, well, you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to make a choice. It's going to be either me or her. And before she even could basically finish the question, I was like, her, click, or not click, but slap. And I closed my phone and I never talked to her ever again. And that's the way that that story went. I ended up getting with the girl that called, and you know, our relationship was short lived and filled with a lot of drama and trauma, but at the end of the day, like, it was the right move. It would have been even worse if I went with the other girl. So, anyways, that's my story on what happens when you tell the wrong girl I love you. So, you know, take it how you want, leave it how you want, but that's how it went down for me. I can only speak from personal experience. Some people might be down with that. Some girls might be down with that. I don't fucking know. But that's how it went down for me. So I just figured I'd let you guys know how it all went down. So don't ever do what I did. That should be like a fucking trademark for all of my videos. Don't ever do what I did. Because I learned the hard way, and some would argue the hard way is the best way to learn, but there are other ways to learn as well. And I'm tired of learning the hard way. Like, fuck, man. It really teaches you some life lessons, though. So, anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend, and I hope everybody has a great week going on forward. So, yeah, peace out.